everyone, welcome to Natural Wonders. Today I'm going to be doing a oil painting of Scotland, basically, with the castle and with the beautiful sunset and everything behind it. So I'm going to get stuck right into this one straight away. So what I've actually done, I've just drawn the outline. Might be a bit hard to see, but I'm going to be painting it in now anyway with gesso. This is gesso acrylics that I'm using now. So I'm just going to paint in silhouette, basically, this little peninsula, this bit of land that this castle is actually sitting on. So in here we just want to block it out completely black and then work to the edges where I've drawn it, and I'll see the little peninsulas that come out, like that one there. I'm going to be careful in the tight areas and then paint behind that completely, again with black. Same here. Load my brush to a chisel edge by pulling both sides, makes it flat on the end, and then use that. It's quite a slender, slim little peninsula is that one. I just want to get a bit of dark in for it, that's all. A few little rocks and stuff going on top of that. And then you come along the bottom of it. I'm going to paint in this edge as well. I love painting Scottish castles. It's something I've done quite a few actually in my time, and they really are a lot of fun to do. You can almost hear the bagpipes playing as you're doing it. This is just a guide for us, one we put as liquid white over, basically. Good solid guide, so it doesn't have to be perfect, just wants to be somewhere near. So I'm just blocking in the land area and that's it. Really nice and simple. We'll be going right over this with liquid white, you see, but it'll just stand out. Just enough so you can make it out, basically. There's another little peninsula coming out there. And then I'm just going to block inside this completely. Not going to the very edge of the building yet. I'm going to mask it up for that and tape it. Makes your life a lot easier. And I'm going to go as high as possible because I know there's going to be a lot of details in there eventually, but it's going to be in silhouette, so the details won't stand out a load. They'll only just stand out because it's going to be dark, very dark. So you're just blocking all inside where the castle's going to be. Up here you've got a little pointy bit, so I'll just go up into that pointy bit. Stay about a couple of millimetres away from your drawing that you've done, your outline. Right, so I'll just let this dry now and we'll get on to the next stage. So what I've done is I've just masked it off around the edges, basically, of the castle. Masked it off, and now I've just got this black paint, and you pull away from the tape. Don't go towards it or it'll creep underneath the paint, underneath the tape. So just away from it, away from the tape, and block that in. Give you a nice sharp edge for your castle, it will. Same at the other side. I've done that. I can just paint at the opposite side of that. And up there I've put a bit of the tape at an angle as well, just there. That's good. So pretty much at this stage I can take the tape off now. There. Same at this side, I might get it from the top this time. There, see that little angle? That's great. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use a liner brush and do all the little details. So I'm using a liner brush now, and I'm going to rest my hand on there, and I'm just going to paint the details for this now. There's a nice shape to this roof. It like comes down in little steps. Same on the other side. You hold your breath when you're doing these things. It's not good. You need to breathe. Yeah, just block it in behind it basically. Just reload the brush again. And just under here, got a nice little drop. Flat roof top there. Again, blocking behind that. And then almost a bit like so. So I'm basically just painting there right behind it all. Little angled roof there. Paint into the middle. I always do in the middle first, and then it's easy to go to the outside then. If you've had a bit of practice and you've got a steady hand by that time. So just don't worry about doing this. Just get in there and just do it. Down to that. Got another little peak there. Little chimneys. Blocking behind it. Get a bit more paint again. Now I've thinned this gesso with water slightly so that it flows better. Make your life a bit easier. No point fighting a thick paint. I've got a lovely angle for a rooftop there as well. So we'll paint that in. A little bit of something at the top of that as well. That's cool. And you will get the odd part, see like there when it's gone over, so easy to remedy, don't worry about that in the slightest. A little bit of emulsion will do the job for that. Down to there, and then we've got a little flat rooftop. I'm only bothered about the outside edge. Couldn't care less what's going on inside, because inside is just getting blocked in. For the moment, that is. I'm looking forward to painting this later in oils. Really going to be a lot of fun. See, all this prep work, what we're doing now, it is quite boring, you know, but you're best off doing it because it makes your painting life so much easier. There we go. I think we'll now we're getting started into this. I'm going to run the colours across the screen for you all that you're going to need to paint along with us, the oil paints that you will need, and I'm going to get stuck into this one. So first things first, I'm just going to mix up a lovely orange colour with cadmium red and cadmium yellow. You could use lemon yellow if you like, or it doesn't really matter too much. So we're just going to mix a really gorgeous orange. Two different shades basically. We're going to have a really light one which is to the yellow side, like so. And then we'll nick a bit of that and we'll add it to some of that red, bright red, just in there. So we've got two shades of it basically. Two shades of the orange. Great stuff. I knew that I need quite a lot of this. It's a predominant colour for the sky. So mix it up. It doesn't have to be really well mixed. Just somewhere near. Now, with that I'm just going to use a 1-inch brush. Just a straight 1-inch brush. I'm going to go into the lighter yellow with a 1-inch brush and tap some of that colour in there. And then with that colour I'm going to go up into the sky area around here, and you can sometimes just tap a bit of that redder colour, the redder orange, into that as well then, So you want areas to stay a bit more yellow and other areas to stay more red. So that's why I've had you mix in the two different shades of orange. So we're going to basically let that come all the way along there. At about that sort of width. Something like that. Just in a strip all the way across the sky. There. And then again I'm going to go back into that a bit. The colour with a bit more red in it. And then here and there I'm going to make it a bit more to the red side, this orange. And then other areas like there, leave it yellow. There, leave it yellow, but I want some of this darker, this brighter red, just above that area now. And then leave that light toned area untouched in there. That's good. Happy with that. Now, same again, back to his light colour. You will get hairs now and again coming into your palette, and if you do, make sure to take them out because they can ruin your painting. It's not always easy to see them, and then you finish your painting and you'll spot them, and it's quite frustrating. Right, so now we've got some of this bright red. I'm going to come down a little bit further down to about here, just with the brighter red, the brighter orange from the dark red side. Just into there, all the way along. So, feather it out on the edges slightly. And then into that you can put a bit of the colour that's a bit more yellow, just here and there as well. Just into it. That's it. Down here more of the yellow, you see. That yellow tone. And then up in here as well I'm going to put a bit of the red tones again. A bit more. So just up in here. That's it. Lovely. Right, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to touch the smallest amount of crimson into that brush. And with that crimson tone, I'm just going to actually come up into this area a little bit, up in here. And then I'm going to use a towel, a paper towel, just to wipe it off with the brush, so there's not too much on there basically. Just tap off the excess crimson. And then blend back into that with that beautiful colour that you've got in there. That's it. Again, I'm just using some of this crimson into this orange. Lovely colours, crimson, and beautiful for these sunset scenes. There. That's cool. Now you can even use a tiny bit of the crimson as well, just up into here, but only in certain spots. I just want you to come and put it on very loosely at first, just little areas, and then come back and blend it really nice and soft, so you can't tell which colour's which. There. I'm leaving it soft underneath that light area in there, using crisscross strokes, these lovely gorgeous crisscross strokes. Again, a bit more crimson. Still got it on the brush, and I'm just going to put some crimson up in there for the moment, just at the very top of the screen. And again, the same thing in between. So in here, in this area where we're going to have some clouds, I just want to put some crimson in that as well. We'll have some clouds in here. We'll be mixing the crimson with some phthalo, ultramarine blue for that. Gently allow them to sort of like blend together. Leave some bits of light, bits of white here and there showing. It's a nice thing. But these areas, these strips are going to be predominantly lighter than these crimson areas. So I'm going to pull ultramarine into this colour, and then we'll mix them two together. Something around like so. Be nice and loose when you're doing this. Don't feel like you have to be really tight with it. Just loose. Slap it on there. The faster you do it, the quicker it'll be. And it stops you thinking sometimes as well, because you can kill things which actually look good. You need to step back at this stage and have a good look at what you've got. Right, I'm getting there. Now, at this stage I'm just going to use another 1-inch brush. I'm just going to get yellow. See that? Tap it this time. I don't want as much paint on as I've had for this so far. Just tap into that. Right, just in here I'm wanting to use the yellow just under the horizon. See that in there? Just the yellow. And then as you come up into here, it'll mix with the liquid white and you'll have less and less of the colour. So I want it more yellow there and then less and less above it. Almost bordering white up in here in this part. And then with that colour, I bring it along the edge and allow it to just gently, don't turn your brush over at this stage, keep it this way around. So you just blend that bottom edge of that cloud in there, all the way along. Blend it right out, nice and soft. So you get some of the ultramarine blue, and some crimson with that, but it's got to be very much to the crimson side as this colour. So you want much more crimson than the blue. Lots more crimson than the blue. And just allow them colours to mix together. Right, so we've got a mixture now there of alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue together. Fingers crossed that will be somewhere near. And just grab a tiny bit of white just to check that colour out. Still a bit to the blue side, so I'll add the rest of that crimson to it and we'll just check that out now. I'm going to mix it quite well for this. Yeah, that's looking better. So I will just wipe off the knife. Right, and now I'm just going to use the brush from before basically. Now that's the colour I was wanting. It's a blue, it's a mauve, it's to the mauve side. So just up in here, this area is going to be a cloud. So in there, I just want to actually use that colour and allow it to mix with the liquid white. But I don't want it to be just straight. There's going to be like little bits coming off of it like so. Just a bit higher here and there, but allow it to mix with the liquid white that's on there. Quite a thickish cloud is this, quite dark, and you get these little end bits just following into it there. So even underneath it you have these little strips of cloud coming off, just in there. Go back up into this part. Allow it to mix with the liquid white, and I'm just using the side of the brush. I'm not using it flat on, I'm using it on the side. And it gets slightly thinner as it comes over to this direction, over in here, and more or less vanishes off. See that just in there? Just allow it to just disappear off. And you can put a couple of little stringy ones just above it. Few little stringy ones, it's nice. And then over in this area is quite a bit darker. And then I'm going to do the same thing with that same colour, but I'm going to do it up above here. Just gaps in here. Still allow some of this crimson to show through underneath by leaving gaps in between when you apply the paint first of all. Just leave little gaps in there and then come in afterwards and we'll blend it all. Again, this bit of cloud that's coming through from the top has also got some little bits of stuff coming off underneath. Little strips of dark from the cloud. See, some of that colour will still remain in there. Gently blend over that. Then where you've left them light areas, there should be some remaining still in there, some of that light colour. So don't just destroy it all, blend it together. Something about like so. And then just on the bottom edge, I'm going to load my brush to a chiseled edge, sharp, and then just along that bottom edge I'm going to put a little shadow for this cloud that we put in there, just underneath, slightly there. Even into these areas it's a nice idea to bring a few little stringy clouds in. We'll come back over that and blend it then really nice. So we're going to start switching to a smaller brush soon as well. This one that we've got in here. We'll blend all this out, it'll look so nice. Get the colour on there first of all. Now, just in these areas where we had the orange, I'm just going to use a tiniest bit of white on the brush, chiseled edge, and then just up in here in some areas I want to make it a little bit brighter. See that? Just by doing that, just in there, and maybe a little bit up in there also. Maybe just a bit, just over in this area here, just coming in to about there, just bits of that white, lovely. I'll mix with the orange, and that's what you want, just allow it to mix in there with it. That's it. Same on this bottom one now, again with the white over the orange. I'm just going to come along. That's why I did this quite dark with the orange, made the orange quite dark, because I knew I was going to mix some of this white into it. Yeah. And don't have it all everywhere, just have it erratic and little holes everywhere where you can see the other colour underneath. Love it. So much fun doing this. There. So that colour will remain in there. Don't destroy it. Right, now we've got a brush with the dark on, which is here, on both sides. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to actually drag some of this shadow colour into here now. Purplish shadows just into this area, you see. Put a bit more crimson with the colour as well, just to make sure that it doesn't turn green. A bit more crimson in with the lavender that we've used, like up here. Just a tiny bit more crimson will stop it turning yellow. So that's a good thing. Lovely warm colours though that we're using in this today. Gorgeous. Come right along the bottom edge of that cloud. Now all the way along the bottom edge. And these are like layers. You get layers upon layers of them. And even up into here, it's a nice idea just now and again to bring a bit of that crimsony colour and just push a bit of it in. Just in there. A little indication of another cloud. Use your imagination, you know. You don't need copying from real life, you don't have to follow it identical. As long as you get a good representation of what you're wanting to paint, that's the main thing. But you want it to have character, you want it to zest at you, you want it to look like the place that you're actually painting, don't you? So, right, I'm up to a big brush now. I'm going to come into my blending part of this sky. So I'm just going to softly blend over all of what I've just done in there. And I want it to have a soft bottom edge to it now. I'm using a big brush here to blend this. A very big brush. So using it and being gentle, you won't pick up much of the colour. I don't want you to smudge or blur any of this. I just want it to stay there. You're just diffusing it slightly, and when you get up into this dark area, you can't come back down again. You have to just use a clean brush then.